So let me ask you all this. If I was to ask you, what what reasons do you think that younger women might have for preferring an older man? Right? We can't always write these situations off as just sort of manipulation of some dumb little girl who doesn't know what's going on. Sometimes women specifically will target and want to be with that older man instead of the younger man. So what do you think are the driving causes? And I'm gonna give you the answer based on the research in a second. But I want to ask you all, what do you all think are some driving factors? Okay, I see stability. Okay, the word stability and security pops up a lot. Mentorship, maturity. Okay, security and stability, financial security, money. Yeah. Okay. Somebody said daddy issues. Let's talk about the healthy reasons, right? And then we'll get to the unhealthy reasons, right? Because we know that there's a little bit of both. Right. Okay. I see fertility. Old men don't have as much fertility as young men, though. I don't know if I mean, for the women, the fertility would matter, but for the okay, all right, control. Okay, somebody say control. Ooh, uh-oh. Sound like you've been through some things. All right, so here are five healthy reasons younger women might be attracted to older men. One, according to the research, is emotional maturity. Older men often bring stability and emotional intelligence to relationships, which can be appealing compared to the drama or immaturity sometimes found in younger counterparts. That's true. I think I saw a study that said that men fully mature emotionally at 43. For women, it's about 32. And so ultimately I will say this too, even as myself, I was single for a while. I didn't really decide to truly commit to something that was going to lead to marriage until I was in my 40s. I'd actually tried to, I thought about I got close to getting married in my 30s. I did propose to a girl. I actually proposed to her on the Wendy Williams show, and it did, she was a wonderful lady. It just didn't work out, so I was supposed to get married in my mid 30s. But then the funny thing about life is that sometimes you have a plan and your plan doesn't match God's plan. And so you make a plan and then the plan doesn't work out. Then you're like, okay, now what? And I remember feeling like that with my life. I said, whoa, I thought that by my late 30s, I'd be bogged down with like a spouse and kids, but I've got all this freedom and I had a lot of freedom and a lot of money, which is a very dangerous thing. I had plenty of money to travel around the world and do whatever I wanted, and I had plenty of free time. I didn't have anybody calling to say like, where were you last night? None of that stuff. And I've always known though that idle time is the devil's playground, the devil's workshop. And I kind of felt like if I didn't find some sense of purpose, something to connect myself to, I would end up in all kinds of shenanigans or be pulled into tough situations. So even though I dated and it was an interesting experience and it was very easy to date, it's very easy to date when you're a public figure because women will come to you. They will already know you, they identify you, they will spot you. And there's some really pretty black women out there, and I think that's great. But I always knew anything that you do in excess is going to be bad for you. Anytime whether you're talking about food or drugs or anything, if you abuse it, I believe it's going to come back to you. I believe that karma is very real. And I think that gluttonous behavior, and you see this a lot. You'll see somebody who says, I'm going to sleep with every pretty girl I see. And next thing you know, something bad happens. Maybe they catch a disease or they end up being accused of something or somebody ends up taking their wealth. And so my belief was in always in moderation, just the same way I talk about economics. That's how I talk about life because because economics is not nearly as important as life, and most wealth is not in your bank account. Most of your wealth is in your life. Your life, you have relationships that are of infinite value to you. If I could give every penny that I have to get my mother back for another 20 years, I'd do that in a second, right? So my relationship with my mother was a massive loss. For just so many reasons I won't go into. So same thing is true with health. How much money would it require for you to want to have somebody give you a bad heart, right? Most people wouldn't want a bad heart, no matter how much money you got offered, right?